And I want to say first that I do think we always have both, that the process of conversion involves a crystalline depth with an authorized surface. But it is completely fair what George says, that I emphasize the crystalline at the expense of the authorized. Why? How do I think I can do that? Because I think that the eventful nature of conversion isn't restricted simply to the authorized face, that the crystalline depths are themselves eventful. And it comes to the question of how we think the event, or how we think change. So I said, and George reaffirmed, that I started thinking of, and I continue to think of conversion as an event within an individual or collective life, but I'm also thinking of it as a possible response to an event. Right? And so one of the first and most important things that I came to with conversion is that conversion is not initiated by the individual. Conversion happens to an individual. And so how do we get from this sort of thought to thinking about politics and political change? Well, let's just think of some events. Events are often, for Bergson, events are lovely, but events in our time, or in my perspective, are often quite horrible. So 3 recent or ongoing events. September 11th, 2001. Not just the moment of terrorist attacks, but the response, the transformative response on the part of Americans and the American state to that event. Things shifted. Things were opened and things closed down quite quickly. That event could have opened the possibility of strengthening international institutions and addressing the conditions that produce terrorism. Instead, that event went in a very different direction. It went into a unilateral and militarized direction. It promoted security. There was an opening, and it closed down in a certain way. The financial crisis that we date to 2008 is another event and an opening, a horrible one. It's turning into the unraveling of social democracy and the diminishment of life chances for millions of people around the world. What else could it have been? It could have been an opening for reconsidering the terms of financial capitalism, an opening for, if not that brave a gesture, regulation of financial capital, or some sort of progressive and positive, in my view, political transformation. There's an event. It's uncertain how that event will be decided. Climate change. There's an event that's only arriving with us still. What is going to happen? Will we find crop failures, displacement of millions, collapse of government economy, and the wealthy and privileged retreating into gated communities? Maybe. Will we be able to mobilize a different sort of democratic response to the event of climate change and the danger posed by it? What I'm getting at in thinking about these events is that, to my mind, the crystalline depths of conversion, or the crystalline moment of conversion, focuses us on what is often thought of as the initial moment of conversion, the opening of ourselves, the tumbling of our former interests, communities, commitments, attachments, understandings, worlds. Right? So the crystalline process of conversion is, for the most part, the deactivation of habit in response to the event, the opening of possibility for the formation of new habit, which is only afterwards retrospectively consolidated in the authorized mode. And so I need to think more about, and I hear George's comment that politics is about initiating these changes. My response in favoring or promoting the crystalline mode is to say, well, politics is also about opening yourself and responding to those changes in new and creative ways.